Hello, I'm X Toycat, and if there's one Minecraft mechanic that people tend to sleep on, it's brewing. This is probably because it requires lots of weird items, and every potion requires 3 steps, which a brewing guide like this will cause you to glaze over and immediately go back to working on your mountain, manor, or museum for. However, some of the most powerful items in the game can be crafted this way, and so I think it's worth knowing about the potion, which is just as good when you consume it as when your enemy consumes it, such as knowing about the anti-poison potion, and indeed this weird one, which most people don't know about. What the heck is it in the game for, and what does it do? Let's answer all of that and more in today's ultimate guide to brewing. This is hopefully going to answer every question and every one that you will have about brewing in Minecraft, and hopefully you find this informative. If so, please do like the video and consider subscribing to the channel, because we are going into every single potion today, as well as the best of them, as well as the newest of them, which might be the best place to start. So how has brewing changed since you last played Minecraft is an obvious question to get you right back into this. If you haven't played since 1.13, the 2 newest potions are Slow Falling as well as the Turtle Master. This is interesting to know about because Slow Falling is really powerful, while the Turtle Master is a really weird one. However, even if you played since Update Aquatic, there has been a potion update recently because 1.20 brought in quite a few non-potion features, but also decided to, at the last minute, change all of the colors, and as you can see right here, this is very interesting because now potion colors you might be familiar with might have changed. Here's a fun graphic on screen to see the before and after colors, but just know that the potion color might not be the same as when you last played. However, for everyone who's confused about what all of these different potion colors mean, let's get into the very basics of how you brew in Minecraft, because before you can do any of it, you need to get a brewing stand. I mean, if you want to be the beautiful bartender that I've got right here, and you want to sell drinks which are not just going to make you blurt out your secrets on the internet, but instead give you powers, you're going to need one of these, a brewing stand. Where are brewing stands found? Well, interestingly, they used to be only craftable. You used 3 cobblestone and a blaze rod, so you had to go to the nether before you get a brewing stand. However, they made it so you can actually obtain them in the overworld, because as well as being obtained in the end ship, you can also find them in some village churches and igloo basements. So this is a really fun potential second way to start brewing. However, sadly, they also added the requirement that you need blaze powder to fuel them, so you need to go to the nether before you can do any potion crafting, which is more true once we get into the potion ingredients. But for now, you just need to know this brewing stand is the only crucial ingredient. Once you have your brewing stand, it's actually a very simple mechanic. You might look around at all of the different items you can throw in there and think about all the different orders that can happen, but it all works very simply because there was a more complex potion mechanic that Minecraft used to have. It was going to involve cauldrons. You're going to have to move things between various cauldrons and mix them together, but as Jeb said in this 2011 tweet, it was too complicated, so they decided to scrap it altogether, and now the cauldron is just used for storing water on the Java edition. However, on the Bedrock edition, you can store potions in there too, which I think is fun, which means all you need now is water, which you can take straight from a water source. Seriously, a single bucket and a brewing stand is all you're going to need, and then brewing with them, you're going to need to have, obviously, some blaze powder. Every single blaze powder you put in there will fuel 20 separate brews, which I think is a really good deal, and so a few blazes killed will brew you enough potions for a lifetime. And then finally, you're going to need to have glass bottles, which are the basis for every single potion. Notice how this water bottle looks a lot like all of these other ones. This is because it is essentially the same, just with 2 effects not added. Once you have the water bottle, you want to add the nether wart to it every single time. There are 6 separate things you can add to a water bottle, and these will make a mundane or a thick potion. They're useless. This makes a weakness potion, which is a whole effect in itself, but we can get into that later. Or you can make a splash water bottle or a lingering water bottle, which are basically only useful for putting out a campfire, and even then you're only doing it to be memey. You can do that if you want, but in reality, there's one thing you put in a water bottle, and it's one of these. You of course want to do this because you're going to create some never watered water, which, you know, imagine if I was wrong about that name, it sure would be awkward. But yeah, the reason you want this is because these awkward potions are the basis for just about every potion in Minecraft. And if you're curious as to what I mean by that, by placing just a single item on top of these, you can now brew any potion you like in the game. This is how you brew in Minecraft. Again, the old mechanic involving all of the different colors, and even though, you know, it was fairly complicated, and even though it looks like it's complicated on a brewing chart, in reality, all you need to know is make awkward potions and then put a relevant ingredient in there, put sugar in there for speed, or a rabbit foot in there for jump boost, a glistening melon for instant health, and then so on and so forth through all of these, and you might be thinking to yourself, even that's a lot to remember, Toycat. How can I remember this, besides taking a screenshot right now? The answer is that every one of these items actually ties into what you might be making. making. So take the carrot, for example. You can use this, or rather the golden carrot, you can use this to make night vision potions if you want to, and the reason it's a golden carrot is because of the myth that eating carrots helps you see better at night. Supposedly, the reason this myth came about was because the British invented radar during World War II, but didn't want the Germans to know why they could spot all their planes, so instead of like convincing them it was about radar, they're like, oh yeah, we just eat a bunch of carrots, that's why we can see so well. But as you can see, golden carrots make night vision, and indeed, you can easily work out that magma cubes are resistant to fire, so fire resistance. It's easy to work out that sugar gives you a lot of energy, so you can run around quickly, and a rabbit foot for jump boost. I mean, a lot of these really tell you about them themselves. The instant health obviously makes sense for a gold-covered melon. Poison is what you'll get when you eat a spider eye. Obviously, pufferfish can breathe underwater. Meanwhile, blazes are very powerful mobs. The ghasts and regeneration are hard to remember in my opinion, but I guess they must be regenerating all the time, while the phantoms and slow falling, obviously they never take full damage, while the turtle helmet and the turtle of pasta, it's kind of the same thing. This is the mega defensive potion, so you take the turtle armor and you put it into a potion. This is definitely the weirdest and most janky feeling potion, but that is how you craft 11 separate effects, which now lets you know how you make every single potion in Minecraft. Take an awkward potion and simply put any of these in there. However, how do you get the rest of the effects? You might be thinking to yourself, wait, so there are 16 different potion effects, how do I get the rest of those? And we'll come back to that in a little bit because it is important to know, but it's also important to know which of these potions are worth knowing how to brew. Looking at a big list like this is important to know all of it, but if you can't remember all of these, which potions do you need to know the recipes for? Let's go into that now. I'm a big believer in the 80-20 rule. There are 16 potions in Minecraft, but do you really need to use them all? No, you're going to be using the most powerful potions more than the rest, so here are the 5 most powerful potions, especially in my opinion, but I think most people will agree that potions that save your life are better than potions that help you jump slightly higher. And so the important one to mention is that Decay would be a really powerful potion. This would be insane to use, one of the best ones for PvP and indeed just for throwing things randomly, but it is unfortunately both a Bedrock exclusive, and on Bedrock it is command and creative exclusive, so you can't actually brew this in any way, but you can brew the 5th best potion today, Night Vision. Night Vision is fairly underrated in survival. People love to use it for various builds and for showing off things that they've done, but just in generic survival, I think it's still very much worthwhile. The reason that this is so powerful is because it allows you to see anything as if it is daytime. This obviously in the day doesn't make a lot of sense, but imagine you're going through a cave looking for diamonds. When you have a night vision potion, it's as if every block is perfectly lit up, meaning you don't need to waste any more torches exploring the cave. This is a really big win in my opinion, even more of a win than some of the other really fun effects that you're going to find, but that is why night vision is a killer for me. Being able to see everything perfectly is so great, not just for videos, but also for day-to-day exploration. You know what else is great in my opinion? Regeneration. Healing on Bedrock sucks. To prove that, let's take a huge amount of damage from harming. Look how powerful that is, by the way. If you want to make a harming potion, simply take a healing potion and then corrupt it using a spider eye. This is a really fun thing you can do, because although there are 11 potion effects in Minecraft, you can easily take any positive effects, say healing if you want, or you could take speed if you wanted to. That's another one that's pretty good, right? You can take any positive effect in Minecraft and you can reverse, where is speed? Swiftness, there we go. We can take positive effects in Minecraft and we can reverse them simply by putting them in a brewing stance. We'll take out all of our night vision. You can't get day vision sadly by reversing it, but you can take these potions, throw them in there, and then put in a fermented spider eye. This is how you get a weakness potion if you put it on just an awkward water bottle, or indeed a regular water bottle, but it's also how you flip the effects of healing into harming, from regeneration into, actually I'm not sure regeneration, but it's how you flip the effects of speed into slowness. Slowness potions are not useful for most people most of the time. It has to be said, instant harming is not useful for most people most of the time, because how often do you want to harm yourself? Not very often, but let me now show you the difference between this and me having the regeneration effect on there. It makes such a huge difference to your healing speed, and it also means that even when you have no hunger and you have no time to eat, you'll still be able to heal up, which is why regeneration is the go-to effect for doing dangerous things in normal survival. Obviously, when you're playing in PvP, I'd recommend regeneration 2 if you're fighting the Wither, regeneration 2 as well. You want to use these next level effects, which we'll kind of dive into in a second, but next up we've got slow falling, which we're taking from our potion cauldron. This is a Bedrock exclusive, has to be said. Slow falling is an effect which is even better than regeneration vision, or night vision allows you to avoid potential hazards, regeneration allows you to heal after going through them, but slow falling allows you to avoid the hazard of falling altogether. Let me show you something fun right here. I'm going to jump off a bridge and literally take 2.5 hearts of damage. It's terrible, right? What can I do about this? Well, the answer is you drink the slow falling potion first, and now it looks like you're performing a magic trick. Ooh, isn't that wonderful? This is wonderful for all sorts of reasons you can probably imagine, but it's especially great for the end where the dragon knocks you into the sky, and also the shulkers are repeatedly giving you levitation because you can take no damage from falls, and also the elytra lasts for so much longer. You go really, really slow, so I'm not sure I can recommend it all of the time, but the fact that you can fly around with an elytra and basically never fall is incredible to me. Look at this, it's ridiculous. It actually causes problems if you want to go fast, but look how fast look how hilariously fast I'm going. Wow, it's so great. On Java, this might be a problem where you can't instantly cancel the elytra and you have to go towards the ground, but on Bedrock, I love this feature because you can cancel in midair. You can do some really, really cool things, basically floating in the air, looking at what's happening before you choose to go down. You can still do this if you really insist on hitting the ground, but it's so slow and it's so fun. So next up, that is the third best potion. Avoiding full damage altogether is so handy for multiple major points in the game. You know what else is handy for multiple major points in the game? The potion of harming. So harming is not great for yourself, I have to admit, but imagine if you could put harming onto other people. Well, you don't have to imagine, because there is the gunpowder, which allows you to turn any potion in Minecraft, so any of the potions, whether it's one of these 11 effects right here, whether it's slowness, whether it's harming, whether it's the potion of decay even, not that you'd be able to brew one of those, or the potion, any potion you want to take, put a gunpowder in there, and all of a sudden the water bottle becomes an explosive. Although I feel like explosive is the wrong way to describe it. I feel like if you threw one of these bottles on the ground, it would break, but one of these bottles will break extra hard. A splash potion of harming is really, really good because the damage it does in PvP is so beyond wild, and it's also pretty handy for a few situations where you're about to fight a big group of mobs. To show you this, I'm gonna... You know what, the bartender is telling me not to drink underage. I really disagree with his opinions, and so what I do is I throw one of these potions at him. You can't tell right now, but he is basically dead, and so just a few hits, apparently 6 more hits from me, takes a cow, which has 15 health points, down to nothing. That is wild to say, and it's really underappreciated, and to show you how strong it is, let me just drink one of these myself. Ooh, taking a full 6 hearts of damage right there, and I can do this over and over again. If you want to kill yourself, this is the potion for you, but if you want to kill other people in the same way they want to kill you, you can use one of these as splash and absolutely murder them like I murdered my lovely cow from the museum. I'm really lucky this is a copy of the world we're using for the sake of the ultimate guide. Speaking of using copies of things, the most powerful potion in Minecraft is fire resistance. This is something which is an entire enchantment, but yet the enchantment, which takes levels and experience and a whole bunch of stuff, is way more powerful as a potion like this. So you can drink the potion by itself and get 3 minutes, but I always recommend for fire resistance to combine it with glowstone first. Or rather, to combine it with redstone first, because redstone will extend the life of your potion. So putting redstone in there with your potions, just like so, will cause all of the lives on them to go upwards. So if you want to have regeneration for longer, if you want to have slowness for longer on your enemies, I would have to say, if you're going to slow yourself down, I don't know what to say to you besides, hello, I hope you're enjoying the video and make sure to subscribe. And what I could also say to you is make sure you have these long potions of fire resistance, because 3 minutes of being able to jump in lava is powerful, but imagine 8 minutes of exactly the same. This isn't just jumping in lava, this is fire arrows. No fire can hurt you while you've got this, including magma, by the way. It is so insane, and so this is one of the most crazy potions you can get. If there is one recipe you need to remember, if 5 is too many even, just remember, take a magma cream from the basalt delta or anywhere else you find one and make yourself some fire resistance potions, because it's a life-changing tool. Speaking of life-changing, it's worth mentioning there are some really weird secondary effects that you can get that are potions that you're probably going to want to know about, but we're going to start with the biggest life changer, which is for a zombie. If you give a zombie a splash potion of weakness, you will actually give the zombie this weird effect on him, which will make him much more powerful, because you give him the power to, once he has a golden apple, cure himself back into a regular villager. This is a really cool mechanic that gives him some really unique sparkles and also a really unique sound effect, but when he's cured back into a villager, he not only will be able to trade with you again, but will give you great discounts in return. This is great, and we'll come back to it later after we mention that there are suspicious stews. These are sort of like additional potions, but they're much easier to craft, and most importantly, give you access to that secret effect that you're not meant to be able to have. The way you get this secret withering effect is you obviously put a wither rose in your suspicious stew. This can be crafted just by taking the bowl to any crafting table anywhere nearby. You know, it's a shame that I have to go all this way back here, but take this suspicious stew somewhere, make a mushroom stew, and add the wither rose to it. It's weird, the way you make suspicious stew seems to always require a poppy as far as Minecraft is concerned, but you can make withering suspicious stew if you want to, and even more interestingly for most people, if you're playing on a no natural regeneration survival, regeneration is such a powerful effect that I would recommend storing this recipe on the top of your head. So take any, obviously take the mushroom stew recipe, just those 3 items together, add an oxide daisy on there, and you have one of the most insanely powerful things, which is the ability to regenerate without having to use your hunger. This is wild to be able to do this so early in the game, because oxide daisies are not uncommon. Speaking of not uncommon, why do regular versions of these potions exist? Poison, harming, and weakness. I have a really good way to answer this, I guess by showing you that did you know there's an anti-poison potion? This is not actually a potion, but instead another use for the water bottle. When you drink poison, and only poison weirdly enough, I guess because bees give it to you, when you have poison effects on you, drinking honey will not only give you food, which is nice, but it also will cure you from the poison. I think this is great. I would recommend though, if you're looking for the biggest anti-poison potion, to instead keep a bucket of milk around. This is because it doesn't just cure poison, it can cure every other effect you have, including the positive ones, so watch out for that. But let's say I drink this withering suspicious stew because I'm just really that stupid, or in fact, let's just say I don't want to be fire resistant anymore, I want to burn to death. All you've got to do is drink a bucket of milk and it's all gone. Do you see that? My 3 minutes of effect have gone to 0 minutes of effect, and also my guy is ready to trade me some discounted shears. Yeah, instead of giving him 2 emeralds, I only have to give him 1. What a result this is, I'm just saying, I feel like you should die again, friends. So anyway, so with that said, those are the weird secret effects for the potions. It does need to be mentioned that the real reason for poison, harming, and weakness to exist is probably either for the sake of weird effects like I'm showing you here, but more realistically, they imagine these being mostly used as splash potions, and they exist so that you make one and think, oh, yeah, I would never want this on myself, surely there's a way to apply it to other people, and then maybe you start to make yourself a splash potion. Or maybe you go a step further, and, because, like, the splash potion is powerful, being able to throw a potion at someone is great, but if you have Dragon's Breath, found in the end by scooping up the dragon's breath, if you'll believe it, you can take any splash potion and turn it into something even crazier. So again, to me, I feel like if you throw one of these potions on the ground, not only would you be able to throw it on the ground and it would break because it's a glass bottle, but also if you did throw it on the ground and it broke, it would probably give effects to people for a while because, there'd be poisonous chemicals all over the ground. Whatever's in night vision potions would be there, and so this is what happens when you put dragon's breath in something. You leave poisonous chemicals on the ground for anyone to enjoy. I might have accidentally done this with my cat while I was recording this earlier. Never mind. You will notice, even when your cat has leaping, you'll still be able to very much tell when he jumps over the fence and decides to leave you. But you can do it deliberately or non-deliberately anywhere in your Minecraft world that you think people are going to pass through, and you can make extra slow pigs, extra slow frogs, or extra slow other players. It's a really interesting effect that kind of works like a trap. In my opinion, it's not good enough for most PvP situations, and so 99% of people will never realistically use them, but it is something that people might find useful. Also, it is worth mentioning that you can make arrows and you can put potion tips on those arrows if you want to. This is incredibly interesting to me, and so this is the most valuable place to have arrows of harming and arrows of poison, because you're already hitting them, you're literally hurting people already. Why not give them a bit more pain or a bit more, for poison to them? This is against the Geneva Convention, by the way. It should be mentioned, you have to be willing to commit a war crime in Minecraft if you're willing to do this, whereas this one is just, it's a bit more vague, depends on your country's laws. So do keep that in in mind as we move into the fun, in my opinion, one of the most fun parts of the Ultimate Guide, the Miscellaneous section. So here's the deal. I love weird fun facts about Minecraft items, which is why in all my videos across time, you'll hear me say, fun fact, here's something weird. And so this is something I try to stop myself doing because I know it's more useful to say, here's just the thing you need to know, but here are the weird fun facts I just couldn't resist myself saying at some point, and I want to have them all be in one section because first things first, parity. For some reason, there are all sorts of weird parity differences, not just in how cauldrons work and you can put different things in them, but also the length of potions. If you have, say, a 20-second potion in regular form, on Bedrock, this is reduced by 25% when it becomes a splash potion, so this regeneration potion should be 2 minutes on Java, but it's only 90 seconds on Bedrock. That's kind of weird by itself, in my opinion, but it even changes for the lingering potion. But even weirder is the fact that you can obviously flip the effects of potions. You can corrupt potions using fermented spider eye, and as we mentioned before, you can take a healing potion, make it harming. You can make a regeneration potion. You can do all these things, but the most interesting one to me that you can flip is night vision obviously becomes invisibility. The reason I find this interesting is because it makes me think, if most potions have a corrupted effect, why don't you have a water breathing corruption? Because in the same way water breathing helps you see underwater, maybe a pufferfish potion, a water breathing potion, should allow you to corrupt that potion into a blindness potion. I think that would be fun. I don't really see that night vision and invisibility are perfect opposites, and so for the remaining potions, slow falling and the turtle master, these were the most recently added. In my opinion, these should give you really corrupted effects. So imagine if the turtle master potion gave you just that ridiculous slowness 6 and no resistance, or imagine it gave you reverse resistance, it was extra damage taken. I think that would be a really cool potion. Slow falling could become extra gravity, so instead of it, kind of in the same way that right now you don't take any damage from falling, it would be really, really cool in my opinion. I'll just stare at you right now from this angle. It'd be really cool if a slow falling potion became a fast falling potion and all full damage was doubled and you took it immediately. That would be such a cool effect to give someone in PvP, and I just feel as though these anti-effects are kind of missed out. I also feel like an interesting one is the fact that you can use glowstone to turn any potion into an increased potency, the increased potency level. So, for example, you can take your splash potion of harming, you can put in the glowstone, and it will become harming 2. You can do the same with poison to make it poison 2. Almost every effect has a level 2, with a few exceptions, those of course the easiest ones being water breathing, fire resistance, and night vision, because how could you have another level of that? I think this is a fun opportunity for, why don't we have extra fire resistant stuff where you can catch fire, but it doesn't actually do anything to you, it just allows you to spread it to other people. You could make weird effects for these, and I think it's almost a missed opportunity. If Minecraft wants to add more potions, the existing potion set allows for so many of these. Potions might seem like an easy thing to ignore, but there is no reason to do so, and they're so much easier than you might think. Almost anything that seems challenging on the surface really does get broken down into a lot of easier parts, and although I do think there's lots of things they could have done with this, ultimately Minecraft is a big game with lots of stuff to do, and I'm sure they have the numbers saying lots of people don't use the existing potions, and so it's worth saying that more people should try out some recipes that you probably aren't already, and that is what this video was here to do. But if you want to see more ultimate guides to Minecraft, including weird facts and trivia, I'll be honest, I really love the weird quirks of any system, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, because every week for the next few weeks, I'm going to be diving into another new mechanic and hopefully giving you the information you need to learn Minecraft better through it. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed this video, because I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Oh god, I got to the end of the video and I just realized I missed the most important brewing tip. I had this whole book just to remind me to tell people that obviously when you're brewing, you need to remember to subscribe. Goodbye.